Monster kidnaps the princess, and someone sets out to save her. Sounds like something from a fairy tale. But that's also the main premise of the Super Mario Bros. Games. Jumping on Goombas and Koopas, dodging Bowser fire, and flying through the air. Super Mario 3 is perhaps the epitome of my early childhood. Sitting on my living room floor, eating hot dogs, we watched my grandfather in his late 50s utterly destroy the game. If you've ever seen The Water Boy, he looked and sounded just like Farmer Fran. But because of him, this game has special meaning to me. The platforming plumbers were added again when Nintendo released Super Mario Bros. 3 in 1988, and armed with a budget of between $800,000 to $1.3 million, and a team of more than 10 people, the game's director Shigeru Miyamoto wanted fresh ideas to build upon the success of the earlier games. And after 2 years of development, a $25 million marketing budget, and an advertisement disguised as a movie called The Wizard, the game was a success. And to take that even further, it's considered one of the best games ever released for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It starts with the curtain opening, just like you see in a play. Mario and Luigi attempt to jump on each other, and then the Super Mario 3 logo comes up. You can select either one-player mode or two-player mode. In single-player mode, you control Mario and make your way through 8 worlds alone. Or, if you select two-player mode, you can opt to play with your friends or family. And because I was the younger brother, my sister always made me the green sidekick. In that mode, you alternate between levels as you try to make it to the end. And in typical family fashion, it was a race to see who could beat the most levels. Miyamoto wanted to offer a fun and exciting adventure to new players, but offer a challenging experience to those who have been playing the games for a while. The levels increase in difficulty as you go on, and level 1 really shows that. It's by far the easiest level in the game. You start out by dodging a piranha plant, and using a shell, you hit a question block, grab a mushroom, and carry on. But the game also added something new in the form of a leaf. Mario transforms, gains a tail and ears on his hat. And gathering P speed, you can fly through the air for a limited time. The tail is also used to hit your enemies and destroy them. The classic Fire Flower and Star Power make their return, as well as new powers found throughout the game, such as the Frog Suit in Level 3's Water World. The Ice World of Level 6 grants you the power of a Hammer Suit. And finally, the famous Tanuki Suit. Holding down an A allows you to transform into a statue to avoid taking damage. But be careful, because the effect doesn't last long, and you'll be susceptible to damage after that. Certain levels will grant you the P-Wing, which allows Mario and Luigi to fly across the whole level, which can be useful towards the end game or if you're in a pinch. As I mentioned before, the game features 8 worlds, and if you just feel like skipping to the end, you can just use the warp whistle. Until recently, I didn't know there were 3 of them, and was astonished when a coworker showed me where it was in the desert level that features blocks that jump and try to hit you, as well as that blasted angry sun that tries to take you out. New enemies were brought along for the ride, such as giant-sized Hammer Bros, and the giant fish in Level 3, or World 3, that eats you, and was responsible for draining most of my lives as a kid. Even now, every time I see that face, a sense of dread comes over me until that level's over. Chain Chomps were actually first introduced in Super Mario Bros. 3, and were inspired by Miyamoto's younger days, when a dog lunged at him, but was pulled away by its owner. The development team's imagination really shined through in this game, and by far, My favorite world is Big World, where the Goombas, Koopas, and Piranha Plants are all oversized, and giant clouds are able to be platformed on, and sometimes necessary. As a kid, it was one of the coolest things to witness in a video game at the time, and even playing the game today brings back a ton of memories of my childhood. Flame chomps have a tendency to get in your way in the auto-scrolling levels as you try and dodge them without falling to your death in the sky world. I can't really complain about the game too much though, but if I had any, it was 2 levels where the exit isn't all that clear. One is where Breaker Bros are trying to hit you with blocks, and you have to carry a Koopa shell to the top and take out these blocks before time runs out. Or the one where you have to battle a Boom Boom, but in order to get to him, you have to find a hidden pipe along the ceiling, which for a new player isn't too intuitive. Every world has a different background, and fun music to go along with it, which was composed by the legendary artist Koji Kondo, who also did the music for The Legend of Zelda, Doki Doki Panic, or what we know as Super Mario Bros. 2, and other favorites from our childhood. Each stage takes you on a wild ride, as you have minigames, toad huts that give you items, and stages where you take on Hammer Bros and Boomerang Bros, all leading to castles where you board airships to take on the Koopalings, inspired by the development team members who worked on the game. Their names, Ludwig, Lemmy, Roy, Iggy, Wendy, Morton, and Larry, all guard the 7 airships, and only after defeating them by popping them on their head 3 times or taking them out with a fire flower do you get to move on to the next world. After reading a letter from Princess Peach, who gives you an item. An interesting tidbit of knowledge, Ludwig and Roy were actually named after Ludwig von Beethoven and Roy Orbison. After defeating what I would say is the worst world in the game, Pipe World, you finally reach Bowser's World, where you go through a grueling trial of airships, boats, tanks, Boom Booms, Angry Suns, and Grabby Hands, before finally making your way to fight the big man himself. There are 2 ways to beat him, with the trusty Fire Flower, or dodging his attacks while he jumps through the floor and goes crashing down. The door then opens up, and as you step into the room, you are greeted by Princess Peach. Curtains close, and that's the end. Unless you want to do it again with an abundance of P-Wings. Or, if you're a speedrunner who wants to try Warpless, 100%, any percent, or the no wrong warp. I would say the speedrun is pretty fun, and I've seen some of the tricks they use, such as getting P-Speed at the right time or going through walls. The graphics are fun, as you see trees and other background characters dancing about on the overworld. And I could say the music is one of the most fun I've ever heard in a video game. All in all, this is a game every Mario lover should play, and it's one of my favorites for its sentimental value and overall creativity. It's just an overall good game, and with that, I bid you all farewell. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that bell to see more content. And come hang out with me at twitch.tv/resurretro, where you see me play the games you see in the videos. Adios.